All right, I'm going to show you two different ways to use this. When you first get in, the first thing I want you to try is quick reports. So when you come in, click Composer, I want you to search for ground beef. It'll show up under the category of household products in the subcategory of food, drinks, products, and the subcategory of meat. The question is, what kind of meat? You said ground beef, so we're going to choose ground beef. We're going to pull ground beef into our selection box, and we're going to choose people who used ground beef in the last 6 months. We're going to make those people our targets. So we're going to pull that over into our target. You can leave base empty. We're going to create a search of people who just used ground beef in the last 6 months. We are now given all kinds of quick reports about people who used ground beef in the last 6 months. Here are our demographics. We can see that there's very little difference between men and women. About the same amount of men and women used ground beef in the past 6 months. We can look and we can see that there is a difference in people's age. People 55 and older, 40% of them, or of everybody that used ground beef, 40% were 55 and older. We always ignore ethnicity or race, simply because it is white, black, African, Asian, and everybody else is lumped into other. There we go. It's not a good split. Some basic household information. The income information is fabulous. We can see that people who made over 250,000, 6% of them, of all people who ate ground beef, 6% made over 250,000. Of all people who ate ground beef in the last 6 months, 45% of them made under 75,000. Again, we ignore ethnicity simply because it's only Hispanic versus non-Hispanic, unless you're specifically looking for that. And education, of all people who ate ground beef, 9% didn't graduate high school, 30% graduated high school, 27% had some college, etc. So those are just basic demographics. But if you go back out to the main menu, then you can look at your segmentation. We can see, how do these people who bought ground beef in the past 6 months, how do they feel about, it's defaulting to automotive psychographics, but we may want to know about how they feel about food in general. So we can see that 13% are fast and curious foodies, and then this will describe it down there. 23% of these people are healthy home cooks. 17% are the joy of eating people, and that will read that down there. Or you might want to look at their health or their leisure style or something else. You can look at any of those things, and then you can export any of those that you want over here. Just choose export as an Excel table or PowerPoint, whichever you want. There's also some psychographics. This works the same way. Starts off with how people who bought beef in the last 6 months, how they feel about advertising. Or you can choose how they feel about buying styles, how they feel again about food. This will be statements, and then what percent of these people that bought ground beef in the last 6 months, what percent of them agreed to these statements? So 81% of the people who bought ground beef in the last 6 months agreed with the statement, I believe in a healthy lifestyle instead of traditional dieting, etc. The one statement they all agreed with least is, I'll try any new diet. That is not a statement that they agreed with. So you can sort of see where they stand on each of these issues. And again, you can change it. You might want to look at their buying styles instead. See how they feel about buying, what they agree to most, what they agree least to. A celebrity endorsement may motivate me to buy a product. They do not agree with that statement at all. Again, you can export over here, back out to the main menu. You can also see about their media usage, their social media usage, etc. And you can download that information as well. So this is using the quick reports. And this is what you will use to just get some basic information about the people who bought ground beef in the last 6 months.